Welcome to the Dr. Wyatt Show podcast. For developing a long-lasting, happy relationship is the status symbol to achieve, and following my tools is one path to help get you there. I'm your host, Dr. Wyatt Fisher, a licensed psychologist specializing in couples counseling. If you have a heart for couples and you want to join me in my mission to lower the divorce rate, one marriage at a time, consider becoming a certified relationship coach. You may not know, but I have an ICF accredited program called FRCA. I offer it a few times a year, and in this program, I teach students, men and women, how to become a certified relationship coach step by step. And the next cohort is beginning January 15th, 2025. So if you're interested in that, if you want to learn more, the link is in the show notes. Well, Happy New Year. It's a brand new year today. As of this recording, it's 2025, January 1st. So this is the beginning of beginnings. This is where everyone is thinking about New Year resolutions. What does 2025 have in store for us? What changes do we want to make? It's an exciting time of the year. It's a time of the year that's filled with optimism, with hope, with encouragement that, okay, this is where we get to hit reset. This is where we get to start over. And where do you want to start over, especially in your marriage? And today I'm going to talk about how to become more attractive emotionally and physically for 2025. Attraction is a big topic. And unfortunately, we don't talk about it very often because it's also a taboo topic. There's a notion in our culture that once you get married, attraction should not be an issue because if you loved me, it shouldn't matter if you're attracted to me. And so because of that common notion, a lot of people feel uncomfortable talking about attraction or a lack thereof in their marriage. And if they do bring it up, often their partner will get offended, and then that reinforces, I can't bring it up. If I'm struggling feeling attraction toward my partner, it's really hard to talk about because they get offended, they get upset, so I just keep it to myself. And that's not good either, because then if we're feeling an area of discontent in our marriage and we keep it to ourselves, eventually it makes us shut down and pull away. So that's why today I thought I would talk about how to increase your attraction and you becoming attractive emotionally and physically. And I'm going to start with emotional attraction because a lot of people don't ever talk about emotional attraction. Normally, there's one partner who wants to feel emotionally attracted to their spouse. Usually it's the low libido partner who wants to feel emotionally attracted to their partner, but not always. And when I say emotional attraction, I'm referring to having relationship qualities, having personality qualities that makes you very attractive. It has nothing to do with how you look. Emotional attraction is how you behave, it's how you act. And we desire certain things in our partner, some of us more than others, to feel emotionally attracted to them. And so I'm going to go through 4 steps on how you can become more emotionally attractive in 2025. Number 1, the first one is integrity. Do you have integrity? Integrity can be thought of in a lot of different ways. But one simple idea of integrity is you do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. If you say you're going to be home by 5 o'clock, be home by 5 o'clock. And if you're not, call and let your partner know. That's being trustworthy. That's having integrity. So being trustworthy is definitely an element of having integrity, doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. That's integrity. Another angle, though, of integrity is can your partner trust you when they're not around you? Are you faithful to your partner with what sites you're looking at online? Are you faithful to your partner with what social media accounts you linger on? It's difficult in this culture we live in when we are bombarded with sexy accounts and sexy images. And if you're high libido, it can feel tempting to glance at those images or those videos that come our way. But when you're doing that, you're breaking integrity because you wouldn't be doing that if your partner was watching your social media or your online activity. And so part of having integrity is you want to not have any behaviors that you wouldn't be having if your partner was there with you, watching your phone with you. That's a huge part of integrity. Can your partner trust you? Are you trustworthy when they're not with you? A second way to become more emotionally attractive is becoming kind. Are you a kind person to your spouse? Do you have good manners? Do you say please? Do you say thank you? Are you friendly? Are you kind? A kind person is polite. They open the door for you. They're courteous. They're respectful. Are you kind? The more kind you become, the more emotionally attractive you become. A third way to become more emotionally attractive is becoming more thoughtful. When you're operating day to day, how thoughtful are you about your impact on your spouse? I've shared the concept of two eyes in, two eyes out, one eye in, one eye out. When you're two eyes in, you're not thoughtful at all. You're thoughtless. You're just thinking about yourself, what is best for you. That's all you're focused on. That's when you're being thoughtless. You're two eyes in. The other approach is you're two eyes out, and that's when you only think about your spouse and you only think about what they need and what they would prefer, and you lose track of yourself. That's also not healthy. So the goal for all of us, no matter which way you lean, whether it's two eyes in or two eyes out, is becoming one eye in and one eye out. And that means I'm mindful of me and what I want moment by moment, while I'm also thinking about what would my partner want? What would they prefer? What would be helpful to them? And then I let those two sets of variables, what I want and what they would want, I let those two sets of variables influence my micro and macro decisions throughout my day. So for example, let's say that I'm kind of cold and I want to turn up the thermostat in the house, but I know that my wife might be sensitive to heat. She may get overheated quickly. And so if I'm two eyes in, I would raise that thermostat and just think about what's best for me because I want it warmer. If I'm two eyes out, I'm lowering that thermostat to whatever's best for my wife and I'm forgetting about how cold I am. But if I'm one eye in, one eye out, I'm going to that thermostat thinking I want the house to be hotter, but before I raise the temperature, I check in with my wife and I ask her, I'm a little chilly. Would you mind if I raise the temperature in the house? And if she says yes, then I raise it. If she says no, I'd rather not, I'm really hot, then maybe I just go put on a sweater. So again, when you're one eye in and one eye out, you're just trying to be mindful of what do I want, but also what would my partner want? This is what I would prefer, and what would they prefer? And if you allow those two sets of variables to influence your decision making throughout the day, you're going to become more thoughtful and more emotionally attractive. A fourth way to become more emotionally attractive is becoming warmer. How warm are you as a spouse? Research shows the warmer someone is, the more we prefer that person, and vice versa. The colder someone is, the less we prefer that person. And warmth is defined by hugs, it's defined by smiling, it's defined by being affectionate. So, how warm are you as a spouse? If you were to ask your partner tonight, how warm am I versus how cold am I? What do you think they would tell you? So, if you're not very warm, try to become warmer. Smile when you see your partner for the first time in the morning and in the evening after work. Give them a hug. Give them affection. If you're watching a show together, be touching them. If you're driving in the car together, give them some affection by touching their leg. If they're in the kitchen, go up to them and give them a hug from behind. The warmer you are, the more attractive you're going to become emotionally to your partner. Okay, now we're going to shift over and talk about how to become more physically attractive to your partner. I know some of you listening right now, this is very important to you. You want to feel physically attracted to your partner, and you don't. And you feel like you can't bring it up without them getting defensive or offended, so you don't bring it up. Now, becoming physically attractive for our partner, it is a balance. And the two extremes you want to avoid. The one end of the continuum that you want to avoid is if you love me, it shouldn't matter how I look. You should love me no matter what. And while, yes, that is true, you do want to love your partner no matter what, being attracted to your partner is involuntary. And that's going to ebb and flow based on how well your partner takes care of themselves. You can't help it. And so it's not realistic to think my partner should be attracted to me no matter what. That's not realistic. That's not human nature. But yes, they should love you no matter what. But it doesn't mean they're going to be attracted to you no matter what. And if they're not feeling as attracted to you, it's not personal. It's involuntary. They cannot help it. They're not trying to be rude. They're not trying to hurt your feelings. It's involuntary. So again, the one extreme you want to avoid is thinking you should be attracted to me no matter what because you love me. That's unrealistic. Having said that, you also want to avoid the other end of this continuum, the other extreme. And that extreme is I want my partner to look like they did when they were 18 when we were first dating. That's also unrealistic because there has to be some level of grace for the aging process. People get older, skin gets saggy, we get wrinkles, we get gray hair, life happens. We are not going to look like we did when we were 18. Your partner is not going to look like they did when they were 18, and that should not be your standard. Because if that's your standard for them, it's unrealistic. You do need to have some grace for the aging process. So the goal is for us to strike a middle ground. So I'm going to go through 4 ways you can increase your physical attraction for your partner. By the way, you need to ask your partner after you listen to this podcast episode, do you care more about emotional attraction or physical attraction? And then whatever they say, that gives you a clue of what you need to be working on. If they say, oh, I'm much more focused on emotional attraction, okay, well then you know what you need to work on. If they say physical attraction is much more important to me, if they say that, then you know that's what you need to be working on. So let's go through 4 ways you can improve your physical attraction for 2025. The first thing you can consider is how you dress. Your clothing. Is the way you dress attractive to your partner? Ask them. Ask them and say, am I attractive to you with how I dress? They may say, yeah, you look great. I love your outfits. Or they may say, you look a little fuddy-duddy, or you look a little outdated. I wish you would, go shopping more often. I wish maybe we could go shopping together. Whatever they say, consider their input because they're the ones staring at you all day long. You don't stare at yourself. Maybe when you go to the bathroom and you wash your hands, once or twice a day, you glance at how you look, but the rest of the day, your partner is the one looking at you. Now, it doesn't mean that your partner should dress you and that you have no voice and that whatever they want you to wear, that's what you wear, end of story. It doesn't mean that because you also want to feel good in your own skin with what you're wearing. However, you probably should be giving your partner more weight with what they think how you look with what you're wearing. So this has been a growth area for me because believe it or not, when I was younger, I was very focused on being fashionable. I used to look at GQ magazines and think, oh, wow, look at how that guy is dressed. Look at that shirt or those pants. I need to get those so I can look really handsome like he does. And so I used to be really focused on fashion when I was younger and I really wanted to look hip. But somewhere around 40 years old, I stopped caring. Probably even before that. Maybe when I was like 30, 35, 40, I just stopped caring. And I stopped caring if my clothes matched. I stopped caring if I had the latest trends. I stopped caring how old my shirts would look or my clothes, my pants would look. I just didn't really care because I was like, who cares? I wouldn't really care if my hair was groomed well, if I'd go to the grocery store. I'd be like, who cares? I just stopped caring. And at that same time, my wife started caring more and more about physical appearance and being trendy and looking nice and dressing sharp. And for a while, she would start giving me feedback on how I looked, and I just dismissed it. I just blew it off. And I thought, I don't really care how she thinks I look because, you know what, I'm the one who has to wear the clothes, so who cares what she thinks? And that was a mistake because that was making her feel voiceless. And then I realized, wait a minute, how she thinks I look does matter, but there is a balance. I also need to feel comfortable with what I wear, but I do need to be sensitive to what she thinks I look like. So a couple years ago, we started going through a wardrobe remodel in my closet and in my dresser, and we started throwing out all my old clothing that I had that she didn't really like how it looked, and I also was willing to get rid of those things, and then we would go out and go shopping together, or I would go out and buy some new things and come home and see if she liked them. And so it's been a work in progress for the last several years, but I want to tell you, it's been worth it. And I would say I've revamped probably 3/4 of all of my clothing in the last couple years because of this. And it's been important because she is more attracted to me now physically because I'm wearing nicer clothes. I'm dressing nicer. I'm more mindful. So maybe that's you. Maybe you need to become more mindful of how you're dressing so that your partner can become more attracted to you. A second thing to consider is your hair. How do you style your hair? Do you ever ask your partner, of all the years you've known me, what hairstyle have you liked the most? You should ask them that question and see what they say, because maybe they like you with short hair. Maybe they like you with long hair. Maybe they like you with curly hair. Maybe they like you with straight hair. Who knows? But ask them and see what they think. When my wife and I were first started dating, my hair was over my shoulders. It was very long and it was curly, and she really loved that look of me. She liked that long hair surfer kind of look that I had when we first started dating because she was from Hawaii. So I kind of looked like these surfer guys that she used to have crushes on growing up. But as I got older, I cut my hair short. And she started making comments like, I miss your long hair. I miss your curls. And so through the years, lately, I've been growing my hair back out, partly because I do like it a little bit longer myself, but primarily because I know my wife likes it a little bit longer. And again, it's my hair, and so I have to also think about what do I like and what's manageable, but I've learned to become more sensitive to what she likes as well, and maybe that's you. Ask your partner, what kind of hairstyle would they like to see on you the most? Number 3 is bad habits. Bad habits can deter physical attraction. So one example might be chewing with your mouth open. Maybe that's a bad habit that you have, and you every time you're having a meal with your partner, you're chewing with your mouth open, you're talking with your mouth open while you have food in your mouth. And maybe to your partner, that's a deterrent. That's unattractive. Or maybe you burp out loud a lot, and that's unattractive to your partner. Who knows? But you should ask them, do I have any habits that are unattractive to you? And whatever they say, be mindful of it. Be considerate of it, because that could be decreasing their physical attraction to you. The fourth thing, which is the big thing that people don't want to talk about, is how fit are you? Is your body very different compared to how it was when you were first dating? And this is where that balance comes in. It's not expected to look like exactly how you were when you were first dating. You may have been a teenager. You may have been in your early 20s. You may have been an Olympic athlete back then. Who knows? But I can guarantee you this. If your body has changed significantly from how it looked when you were first dating, you can almost guarantee that your partner is not as physically attracted to you as they were. And that's a problem, because part of the reason they did fall in love with you back then is because of how you looked. If that's important to them, it may not be. But if physical attraction is important to your partner, and if your body is really different, substantially different compared to how you looked when you were first dating, your partner probably is not as physically attracted to you as they were. And you need to think about that and consider what you need to do about it, because fitness is a huge value for a lot of people. If you're married to someone who values fitness, you can almost guarantee they want you to value fitness also. And you can dismiss it, you can blow it off, but if you do, your partner's not going to be as attracted to you, and that's going to hurt your marriage. My wife and I also went through this. When we were first dating all the way up through my 20s and even 30s, I had a six-pack. And I was fit and exercising, and I was young, and so I had this six-pack, and my wife would comment on it quite often. But then as I got into my 40s and approaching my 50s, I started getting love handles. I started getting this ring around my midsection. It wasn't huge, it wasn't gigantic, but for me it was, because I'd never had that before. And my wife started commenting on how I had love handles, and she would say it as a negative. Her physical attraction to me had gone down because I had developed some love handles. And like a lot of people in the beginning, I just kind of blew it off. I was like, well, it is what it is. I'm getting older. And I just kind of let it go. But the more I thought about it, I realized, you know what? She's always appreciated my six-pack. So I should probably become more mindful and try to bring that back. And so I tried to increase my exercising. I tried to go to the gym more often. And when I would go to the gym, I would start doing crunches more often. And over time, I lost that belly fat and my six-pack started to come back. And she appreciated that because it's an act of service. When you know what your partner would appreciate with your appearance and you do it, you honor it, that makes them feel honored. It makes them feel like their voice matters. And it makes them feel more attracted to you. And the more your partner is attracted to you physically, the more that's going to impact your physical intimacy. because it's an extension of their physical attraction toward you. So those are 8 ways you can become more attractive in 2025. Here's the 4 for emotional. Increase your integrity, increase your kindness, increase your thoughtfulness, and increase your warmth. If you want to become more physically attractive, improve your clothing, improve your hair, improve your bad habits, and improve your fitness. Thanks for listening to the Dr. Wyatt Show podcast. As a reminder, if you have a heart for couples and you want to join me in my mission to lower the divorce rate one marriage at a time, consider becoming a certified relationship coach through my ICF accredited program, FRCA. The next cohort begins January 15th. The link is in the show notes so you can listen more. If you found value in today's episode, be sure to leave a review, click the 5 stars, and share it with one other person. Just click that share tab, and you can send it to a family member, you can send it to a friend, whoever else you think needs to hear this episode. And remember, your marriage is alive. If you care for it and nurture it, it will grow. But if you deprive it and neglect it, it will wilt and die. The choice is up to you. Take care.